Good morning, students. In yesterday's lecture, I gave you the basic idea of what data is, why data collection is important, where does the word statistics come from. So, I hope you have seen the first lecture carefully. Now, on the board, we have the marks of mathematics test marks of 10 students. So, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, the mathematics marks of 10 students out of 100 are given on the board. Now this is raw data. Why it is called raw data? Because the marks are taken as it is. This is raw data. The marks are taken as it is. But what can you observe from this? So this is the raw data. Now we have to give it meaning. We have to arrange it properly. We have to interpret what the data says. So first thing we see, who is the lowest in the class? So 25 is the lowest marks and the highest in the class, 95 is the highest marks. So what is the range of the data? The range of the data is the highest reading 95 minus the lowest reading 25. So we get a range of 70. Means the spread of the marks is 70. That is called the range. Now we have found out the range. Can you think of any meaning? What does this range tell us? Okay, one thing you can tell us, there are very bright students in the class and some students are not very bright, because this is a range which shows. So that normally happens in every classroom. In every classroom, you have a few very bright children, a high bundle of average children and some very poor children. But it is not that they are poor. The 25 marks shows they are poor. These are the mathematics marks. Maybe this child is not interested in mathematics. He or she is interested in music and dancing and literature. So the data we have got is a very raw data. That is why we use the word raw data. These are the marks of 10 students in a test of mathematics. So it only tells us about the thing in mathematics that the child got 25. But when we go to interpret the data, this data is not enough, because these are the marks of mathematics. To understand the child, we need to know the English, the social, the music, the painting, all the marks when they are available, then we can see the interest of the child. But still, what we try to do is, we collect data, whatever we have. This is called numeric data. So the data is of different types also. There is numeric data and non-numeric data. So non-numeric data we do not have right now. We are only going to work on numeric data. So what is this? This is a raw data, the marks collected. And we saw the range of the data, 95 minus 25 equal to 70. Now, these are the marks of 10 different students. Let us say, I will write down the marks of one single student of 5 different tests. So in the whole year, one student, let us give him a name, say Carla. Okay. The marks are 72, 48, 97, 34, 85. Okay. Now, these are marks out of 100 of 5 tests the student Carla gives in the whole year. Now you see the difference. These were the marks of 10 different students in one test. And this is the marks of Carla giving a maths test throughout the year, 5 different marks. So here what you can see the range. She scores 97 as the highest and 34 is the lowest. So in this case, what is the range? Range is 97 minus 34 is 63. Okay. Now you see she has scored 97 in one test and 34 in the other. So can we say she is good at maths or not good at maths? Because she is scoring 97 also and scoring 34 also. So now this were different students. So we could say 95 means this students looks bright, 25 means this students look dull. But that is not the case. Here the same student and here also they are showing variation. Now 72, 97, 85. So 97, 85 are on the high side, 48, 34 on the low side, 72 is somewhere in the middle. What does this mean the child is getting here? So can you interpret this data? then this data would show Karna gets 97 in a topic which she likes very much. Let us say arithmetic. So when it comes to arithmetic, she scores very high marks. When it comes to geometry, she scores low marks. So in mathematics also people have topics that they like and topics that they don't like, topics that they are very good at and topics they are not very good at. So all this data is very important. In which regard? The data is important because it helps us to find a good careers for ourselves. So all this data, all this marks collected a number of years and analyzed properly will give a more accurate description of the likes and dislikes of Carla. But these are only the maths marks. But to go into career counseling, we need to know more aptitudes. Okay? So like I told you, this is a numeric data. Now what is aptitude mean? If you have seen the Howard Gardner's range of aptitudes, the intelligences, there is numeric intelligence, means people are good with numbers, there is linguistic, people good with language, there is musical aptitude, people good with music, kinesthetic, means people good at physical exercises, there is spatial, there is non-verbal, so there are a lot of types of aptitudes. So there are aptitude tests. So if you look at our JEE exam, is a kind of test to know whether the child will be good at engineering or not. So JEE test is also giving us data and the data tells us, it's aptitude test, whether the child will be good at engineering or not. But this is not for the future right now. To understand the word statistics, so here we have got example of raw data. So these are the marks of which 10 different students in a test of mathematics, and this is the mark of a single student in 5 different tests of mathematics. So first we know what is raw data. Raw data is the data collected as it is. It is not arranged and nothing is done. We only see the range of the data, and this is also raw data. Now from raw data we'll go to arranging the data. So now we'll learn the techniques of how to arrange the data in the proper manner. Okay, as you can observe on the board, we have got marks of 100 students on the board now. Or you can consider any data in the book it is given, the Van Mahotsav and the trees planted. But let us say these are the marks of 100 students. Now what interpretation can you do out from this marks? This is again a type of raw data. Why it is raw data? Because as we got the marks, we have displayed the marks of 100 students. Now to study 10 students, it was very simple. Or to study 5 marks of a single student was simple. Now we have got 100 marks and the board is full of numbers. Now how do you arrange these numbers, analyze these numbers, interpret these numbers? So here statistics comes to the use. Okay? So like I told you that this is the raw data. Now why is the data very important? Because it will tell us exactly how things are shaped. Okay. I will change the example. Let us say for the past 100 days, these are the number of COVID cases in Bhavnagar per day. So in the past 100 days, one day the cases went to 95, the other day it went to 76, then 75, 89. I'm just giving an example, do not take this as the data, it's an example. But imagine that in our city of Bhavnagar, every day, every single day, the cases were 95 on the first day, 76 on the second day, 75 on the third day, and we have this data here. Should we consider COVID as a pandemic or not? Now, how do you interpret such data from this collection of numbers? So, listen to the example carefully. In the past 100 days, means we had the lockdown since the March 23rd, and I think 100 days have passed. So, the COVID count was taken. Now, you can see initially the COVID count was high, then it somewhere gets low, gets high, gets low, gets high, gets low. But this is a mixed raw data. Out of this data, how do you know how seriously to take the COVID pandemic? Because if you see the city of Bhavnagar right now, everybody is moving freely outside, many people are not wearing the mask and it doesn't look like a pandemic. But if this was the data shown, then how would you react to such a pandemic? Okay. Now we have got data like 95 looks a high reading. Then if you go to check out the data accordingly, then we have got 95 is the highest right now. That's 95. You can go to the remaining data to see if you can see a number higher than 95. Yes? And you see how difficult it is to look for data Oh, this is 98 here. So 98 is higher than 95. We have 96, but 98 seems to be the highest. So the highest year we have is 98. It seems 98 is the highest. And we go to the lowest. And the lowest year we have 28 seems smaller. Now if we let us see if we got a number lesser than 28. We have got 23 here, which is smaller than 28. So 23 looks smaller. So you have to check this data and see how troublesome it is to go through all the data like this. Because here we are treating every data individual. So if you go by the individual data, then we have, yes, the highest reading at 98 and the smallest reading at 23. So what do you have the range of the data? The range of the data is 98 minus 23, that is 75. Means a difference of 75. Means what is the difference of 75? Means sometimes the cases are too high and sometimes the cases go low. It shows a range of 75. But then even then, after knowing this range, it is not very helpful. It doesn't look very helpful. So what we should try to arrange, we go by frequency. Now how will you do the frequency? So we'll make a frequency table. How is the frequency table made? You have to say number of cases. We will go by the telemarks or no telemarks needed, and the frequency. Now what is frequency mean? Frequency means how many times does an event occur. So how many times an event occurs is called the frequency. So how many times an event occurs is called the frequency of the event. So we'll start with 23. So I'll write here case is 23. Okay. So 23 I got one time. Is there any other 23 in this data? No. So it's only 23. After 23, what we have got in 20s now? We have got a 28. And let us see what else can we find here. 28 is 1. We have a 27 here. 27. Then so we have a 27 one time, a 28 one time. I should calculate the frequency. So all these are occurring once. Now what does frequency mean? 23 has occurred only once, so the frequency is 1, only occurred once. 27 is 1 because it has occurred only once. 28 has occurred only once. But if you let us look at 92. Then 92 has occurred one time. Let us jump directly to 92. This is the example. You can see 92 one time, 92 here two times. This is very difficult to check the data, but we should go like this. Check. So 92 is occurring two times. So what we can say, 92 is here third time. So the frequency of 92 is 3 because 92 has occurred 3 times. The frequency is 3. So this is what a frequency table does. You will count the cases 23, 27, 28, 31, 33, all these cases are there. You will count how many times it occurs. This is the frequency. Now, since these are 100 readings, when you add this frequency, you should get 100. The total should be 100 because here the total data is 100. But you understood what is frequency? This is how you write the cases. 23, how many times does 23 occur? Frequency. It occurs only once, so the frequency is 1. How many times does 27 occur? Only once, so the frequency is 1. How many times 28 occurs? And this way, you have to write all the cases and the frequency. Now you will see, this is easy to do when you have got say 10 data or 20 or up to 30, 40. Up to 40 the data is repeating, but you see the range here. What is the range? Can you see? The range is 75. What does 75 mean? You will have a maximum of 75 numbers. You can have lesser numbers also. If data keeps on repeating, you can have lesser numbers, but maximum is 75. Now how much big will a column of 75 be? So if you keep on writing the numbers like this, suppose you could say there are 50 readings which are repeating. But even if you write 50 readings like this, it becomes difficult to read. So listen here, we will go with the frequency table when we have got only 10 data or 20 or 30 data. Up to 30 data is fine, but 30 data is also not good. We should have a frequency table which has got a maximum of only 10 data, because 10 data is fixed in one page and easier to read. When you go beyond 10, this column goes beyond 10, it becomes difficult to read. Now if that is the case, then what will we do to make the data smaller? Yes, what I said, suppose I only go by these 10 lines, the first 10, then I will write 28 occurs one time, 32 occurs one time, 33 occurs one time, and I can write 65 occurs two times. So the frequency in the first line, if you see, frequency of 28 is 1, of 32 is 1, of 33 is 1, of 65 is 2, of 67 is 1, 69 is 1, 95 is 1, 96 is 1, 98 is to the 10. So 10 data I can easily make a column and do it. But this is 100. So here we'll have to change the tactic. So what tactic will change? You can see we have got 23, so now we'll make a jump. So we'll count the cases from 20 to 29. So what I've done, I can even go smaller one. That depends on what you want to do. Let us see. Let me go from 20 to 24, 25 to 29, then we'll go 30 to 34, 35 to 39, 40 to 44, 45 to 49, 50 to 54, 55 to 59, 60 to 64, 65 to 69, 70 to 74, 75 to 79, 80 to 84, and still it goes on. I have to go till where? 90 is the highest, I have to go up to 99. And it goes 85 to 89. 90 to 94 and 95 to 99. So again this has become very big, difficult to read. So here you have the choice, you have to decide what range you want to go. That is a choice you have to make, because that is the most important part which makes data easier to read. So I will go with 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59, 60 to 69, 70 to 79, 80 to 89, and 90 to 99. Now this will become easier for me. Why? I can see in the range of 20, in the range of 30, in the range of 40, in the range of 50, in the range of 60, 70, 80, 90. So this becomes easier to read. Range of 20, range of 30. Okay? But in yesterday's lecture you saw this is not inclusive. Why? Because 20 to 29, it ends at 29 and this begins at 30. So now we'll see how to work with the telemarks. Now since the data is very big and you want to be accurate, so be very, very careful while counting. So should we begin the use of the telemarks? So we'll begin 95. Okay, we'll go in an order like this. 95. Where does 95 occur? Between 90 and 91. So I'll put a line here. 95, 1. 76 in the line of 70. 75 in the line of 72. 89 comes in the line of 80. 93 again here. 86 in the line of 80. 87 in the line of 80. 69 in the line of 60. 92 in the line of 90. 53 in the line of 50. So I have done this 10 numbers. Let us say 3 plus 3 6 plus 2 8 9 10. So 10 we have done. Next line 67 in the line of 60. So can you see how easy it becomes? 60 line, 59, 49, very easy. 42 in the line of 40. 83 in the line of 80. 65 in the line of 60. 68 in the line of 60. 90 in the line of 90. 56. 83. Now you can see here 83. Now what is telemark going to make it simple, easy to read? You already got 1, 2, 3, 4. So the fifth line is put as a cross like this. So now this has become a bunch of 5. Easy to read. Remember this. So fifth line is put across. Then 75 in the line of 70, 69. Again there are 4, so fifth one I put like this. Then we got 28 in the line of 20, 32 in the line of 30, 76 line of 70, 73 has become 5, 52 line of 50, 44. So this is what you are supposed to do, and do it properly with counting. So do not miss your count. Your finger should be there on the count. 86. So after 5, the sixth one is start 86, 89 and 90. So the fifth line here. We are done. Then 32 comes here. 38, 83, 81, 79, 62, 23, 43, 66, 55. So this is a very tasking thing. You can see we have just finished 40 numbers. We have put tally marks for how many numbers? 40 numbers. Still we got 60 numbers to go. But if you want your data to be accurate, if you want your readings to be very well and accurate, then you will have to see very carefully. Let us continue. 65, 42, 85, 49, 81, 31, 35. So the fifth line is crossed, remember. 45, 91, 66, 65, 40, 62, 52, 83, 36, 76, 39, 27, 49. Then we have got 69. Yes, we have got 69, 40, 37, 64, 59, 38, 83, 83, 88, 52, 33, 69, 65, 76, 82, 42, 85, 75, 89, 83, 98, 95, 63, 83, 75, 39, 30, 66, 93, 34. And we have got 96, 92, 42, 92, 82, 83, 68, 83, 42 and 36. Okay? Now count out the frequency. There is 1, 2, 3. 3 over here. 5 and 5, 10 and 4, 14. 5 and 5, 10 and 2, 12. 5 and 3, 8. 5 and 5, 10 and 5, 15. 15 and 3, 18. How do we know they are 5? 1, 2, 3 and the fourth line shows is 5. So this is a bunch of 5. So 5 and 5 we have 10. Here we got 5 and 5, 10 and 5, 15 and 5, 20. 20 and 3, 23. So right here we have got 23 and 5 and 5, 10 and 2, 12. We have got 12. Now to see whether we have done our work correctly or no, we'll have to add it up. If this comes to 100, our correction has been proper. If it doesn't come to 100, we'll have to do the exercise all over again because we probably have made a mistake somewhere. Let us see if our work is right or no. 3 plus 4, 7 into 9. 9 and 8, 17. 17 and 8. 17 and 8, 25. 25 and 3, 28 and 2, 30. So 0, carry 3. 3 and 1, 4 and 1, 5. 6, 7. 7 and 2, 9 and 1, 10. Okay. So our arrangement has been proper. We have done the sum correctly. So now you can see here, what does it tell you? Let us think of the COVID cases now. For 23 days, see, look at this data. For 23 days, the cases were between 80 to 89. And for only 3 days, the cases are between 20 to 29. So low cases were at very few days, and 80 to 89, 23 days, 90 to 99, 12 days, 60 to 69, 18 days. Means the pandemic is very, very serious. We are not supposed to take it lightly. Look at this highest number of days. For 23 days, the COVID cases were between 80 to 89. For 12 days, they were between 90 to 99. For 18 days, they were between 60 to 69. So you can see the lower data has got more days, the upper data has got less days. So the COVID pandemic, if you see, is quite serious. So people should take this seriously. But have you followed what you're supposed to do? Now, you can see I have made the work easier. But when I made the work easier, I gave up a little of the accuracy. What does a little of accuracy mean? Now I know these 3 readings are between 20 and 29. That I know. These 3 readings are between 20 and 29, but I do not know whether it is 21 or 22 or 23, 27, 26, what is, I don't know. When I had this data, I knew exactly. There was a 23, there was a 27, there was a 28. Yes, you can see. When this was the data 23, 27, 28, I knew exactly it was 23, 27, 28. I was accurate. But this is a very big table, so I made this small table of cases, the telemarks and the frequency. So I made the table small. Now it becomes easier to see. Here I could not see properly, but here I can see for 23 days the cases were between 80 to 89. So now this table has become easier to analyze, easier to read, but the accuracy has been lost. How it has been lost? These 3 cases were 23, 27, 28. But when I say 3 between 20 and 29, I don't know exactly what it is. So once if I have this table and I rub this data off. Okay. So say we have got a person, we hire a person who prepares this table. Okay. So we have got doctors, we have got nurses, we have got compounders, people who help. Yes. So they collected this data. The compounders, they sat and they wrote down who has got COVID, they collected this data, but the doctor said this data is very difficult to read. So one person said, okay doctor, make it easier for you. So he made this table to present it to the doctor. Now this is the table the doctor has, so it becomes easier for the doctor to read. But what you can see, the accuracy has been lost. The doctor can now see there are 3 cases on 3 days the cases are between 20 and 29. But he doesn't know exactly how the cases were. Why? Because he did not see this data. Now this was made by the compounder and the nurse. They collected all the data. Then they brought an analyst who made this table for them. But when the doctor sees this table, he can only see the data becomes easier to read. He can give his idea now, but he doesn't have the accuracy. You can see here, 23 days the cases are between 80 to 89. So he knows they were more than 80 and less than 89, or it was from 80 to 89, 80 and 89 included. Okay, here 80 and 89 is included, but he doesn't know exactly there were 85 cases, 87 cases, 82 cases, that he cannot see. So this is what statistics does. It helps us to arrange data, analyze data, infer data, but when there is a large number of data and you make tables like this, you actually lose the accuracy of the data. But we are okay with it because the data becomes easier to read, easier to analyze. So a little bit of accuracy here and there we do not mind. So now in the exercise, what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to see your data, you have to see the lowest data and the highest data, consider a range. So you will write this is called a group. So we made a group. This is a group frequency distribution. This is a frequency distribution, but it is not discrete. When it is discrete, now remember this, when I say 23, 27, 28, when I write this data separately, it is called a discrete frequency distribution. Discrete means all the data is kept separate. But here to make it easy, what did I do? I made them into groups called classes. So these are groups are called classes. 20 to 29 is one class, 30 to 39 is another class, 40 to 40 another class, 50 to 59. So you can make table of two types. When the data is small, you can use discrete. So what is discrete? 23 how many times? One time. 27 one time. 28 one time. 92 two times. Or 92 three times. That is discrete. This is called discrete frequency. When you count the frequency of every number separately, it is called discrete. When you make a group, it is called a group frequency distribution. So this is what we are going to do today, the telemarks. So kindly look at the exercise. Okay, draw your table, find the range and try to make this by the telemarks. So today we have learned how to use the telemarks. So I have written the whole sum on the board. You don't need to write the sum in the book. See the sum from the textbook, but make your classes. Now see, when the data is small, do not make classes. If the data is only having 20 readings or 10 readings, then go for the discrete. But if the data is more readings, then you go for the classes. Put the telemarks. Now this is for your practice. Learn how to make use of telemarks. Then you have to see the frequency. And when you add the frequency, you should get the same number as the number of data. If not, means you have made a mistake, so you will have to work it out again. So I am going to end here. Okay? So practice it well. This is quite easy, but you have to be very careful. See that you keep your finger on the data and do not move your finger. If by mistake your finger moves from one place to another, you can again get it wrong. So the first exercise is some manual labor, some physical work to put the data into proper columns and arrange it properly. Okay? So I am going to end here. Thank you.